Hi, Siara. Welcome. We are glad to have you here among us and hope you are so. It will be a pleasure to introduce you to our language and our culture and to learn more about Canadian culture. We can't wait to learn more about you as well. So let's talk a little bit about yourself.
We have a few questions for you. How have you become an English assistant and why?
So I applied to a program called TAPIF. They accepted 100 Canadian assistants to become English language assistants in France. So I had to do an application process that asked me why I wanted to come here, what experience I have with youth, and my level of French. And then from there, they read all of the applications and they told me a few months later that I was accepted. And then they helped me get here. I chose to be an English assistant because I want to be a teacher in the future, so this was a great way to gain some experience with high school students.
So, why did you choose to come to France?
I chose to come to France for a lot of reasons. I wanted to try to improve my French language levels, so this was a great place to do that. I also really love the idea that it's easy to travel from France, so during school breaks I can travel to a lot of different countries. I'm also really excited to learn about French culture and everyday life here, so those were the main reasons why I chose France.
Can you name a few countries you haven't visited but you wish you could?
Yes, I really want to visit the Czech Republic. I've always wanted to go to Prague. The pictures look amazing. I also would really love to go to Colombia because one of my best friends is from there, so it would be really fun if we traveled there together and she could show me where she lives and her culture and everything. So those are my top two choices right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
What do you expect of your journey in France?
I expect that it will be challenging because my French level is not great right now, but I'm excited to learn more and keep practicing. I'm also really excited to explore this area and other French cities as well, and really understand the way of life here in northern France.
How long will you stay in France?
So I will be teaching until April 30th. That is when my contract ends, but I will be leaving France May 30th. I left a month for me to be able to explore a bit more after I'm done my contract.
Is it the first time you work abroad?
This is the first time I have held a job abroad, but I did study abroad in 2018 in Scotland for 5 months. So I was taking classes with the university there, but this is the first time that I have done a job where I'm getting paid outside of Canada.
What is your dream job?
My dream job is to be a teacher or an advisor. I really value education and helping other people, so I think those two job options really fit my passions well, which is why I chose to come here and be an English assistant.
So you studied history at university, so can you tell us what is your favorite period in history?
My favorite would be more contemporary history, so I like studying anything from the 1900s to present day, but I've taken classes of all different periods, and I like learning about any country or continent in the contemporary history, so I've done a lot of South American classes, European classes, but I'm hoping to learn lots more.
Now you know more about schools in France. What are the differences between Canadian schools and French schools?
So French schools, I would say you have a lot longer of a school day than I would back home in Canada. The high school students usually end their day around 3 or 3:30 p.m. So it's about a 6-hour school day every day. So that's a big change for me. I would also say that you have a lot more school breaks though. In Canada, we had 2 weeks off for Christmas and 2 weeks off in March, whereas you have a lot more vacation time. So I think that balances out. I also think French schools have a better language program. You seem to offer a lot more languages for students to learn, and a lot more opportunity for language immersion, which is very different from back home. We could learn French and Spanish, and that was it. So it's cool that you have a lot of choices for language programs. And back home, I think they have more choices in the courses they can choose. My brother's in grade 12 and he could choose all of his classes except for one class he had to take, but everything else was an option for him. So that seems different as well. Yeah.
Can you give us some stereotypes Canadians have about French people?
Yes, I think like clothes-wise, like when we picture French people, stereotypically you think of like the beret, striped shirts, that kind of thing. But I also think of like really high fashion, and I think a lot of students here dress a lot nicer than they do back home, so I think that's kind of true. When I think of like food, I think of French people like drinking a lot of wine, eating a lot of cheese, a lot of baguettes. I think there's some truth to that as well. And I always think of like France having a lot of culture, like art and really good film and everything, which has seemed true as well so far. And I'm excited to explore more of that. Yeah.
Can you teach us some Canadian slang, please?
Absolutely. We have quite a few terms that we use in Canada that people don't use outside of Canada. Our $2 coin is called a toonie, and our $1 coin is a loonie. In Saskatchewan, one of the provinces in Canada, they call hoodies a bunny hug. And then I also will say things like I'm going to header, which means like I'm going to leave or I'm going to go to sleep. Those are probably the ones I use the most. Yeah.
Okay, what is the things you miss the most in Canada?
I miss my family and friends the most, for sure. I think I also miss the familiarity of my city, just knowing, you know, all the restaurants and all the cool things to do. But at the same time, I enjoy exploring this new area. So I think once I know the area better, I'll feel a little bit more at home. But I definitely prefer, so far, the weather here has been very nice. Back home, usually all of the leaves would be gone off the trees and we might be getting snow. So for me, this is nice and warm. So I enjoy that part of living here for sure. I don't miss the weather.
You know that in our high school we can study music, so who is your favorite artist and what is the most melodious language for you?
My favorite pop artist would definitely be Taylor Swift. I'm a huge fan. I went to her concert many years ago. I also like alternative and indie music, so music that's a little bit less popular, not really on the radio. I really like Two Door Cinema Club is probably my favorite band from that genre. The most melodious language, French is definitely up there for me, but also Italian is very nice to listen to as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your answers. We will do all our best to make you stay the best possible. We hope you will have a good time with us and enjoy a beautiful and memorable stay. We will show you the beauty of our country. See you soon.